His interests are video games and computers. Guests here at Isaac's exhibition include his dad Martin and his mentor Mark. This exhibition should be 30 minutes long. Please fill out the forms in front of you to help Isaac learn. And please turn off any electronics and silence them, please.
Okay, so hi. As Mariah probably mentioned, my name is Isaac, stating the obvious. So, long story short, since my portfolio is my portfolio and my Minecraft screen are a bit laggy altogether, I'm showing that in the beginning. So, Sean, take it away. Well, you're probably wondering, what the heck is this right here? This, if you've ever played or even heard of Minecraft before, this is a modded version of Minecraft. Leaves move. Water, if there's water, yes, the sun is shining. And the water, if you see down there, reflects things, which is really amazing. Do you mind showing them vanilla?
Yep.
Just wait 1 second until we get vanilla. It should already be up, it's just.
I can pull it up when it needs to close.
Sorry, we're having some technical difficulties. And yeah, so this would go to the sun. I want to show them the difference.
Where is it?
It's behind the clouds. This is the sun should be behind those clouds, but this is vanilla Minecraft. As you can see, there's a huge difference in graphics and, long story short, items. I didn't really get to show you the items because I didn't have a lot of prep time, but the modification that I currently did is called Minechem, and that adds chemistry to Minecraft. And I'm not going to go on all throughout the details because that would take me hours and hours and hours, but I didn't do it alone. I did it with a couple other developers in California on TeamSpeak, but I programmed using Java a couple of scripts for Minechem. Now, if you go to my profile page thing, I'm linking what it's called. Actually, do you mind playing this song?
Which one is it?
Just click play. I just want some music in the background. But if you click Google Chrome,
Where's that?
Google Chrome,
He says
So if you go to my home page, as you can see, things about me. Yeah, I already introduced myself. I'm Isaac. I'm a pretty big genius because I know all different Java, Blender, animation, anything with computers can pretty much relate to me. Perks, I'm a good problem solver, excellence in mathematics and high-tech code, experience with firearms and modern weaponry, excellent history and nation's background, makes interesting, funny comebacks and jokes. I'm a nice person who doesn't care what others think about me. Overdressed. Smart ass, yes, it's sad but true, but I am. Can be dumb sometimes, overly tired, moody, occasionally grumpy, and yeah, long story short, that's me. We'll pause a lot, but we can go to fall 2013. So, sorry about the font, guys. I couldn't really change everything, but quantum computing. Quantum computing is also known as quantum, computing, but it's a quantum supermonitor. It's pretty much when particles go around to make the computer faster. Sorry, it's my fault. I can't really read this, but long story short, quantum computing is pretty much using particles, physics, and science to make a computer faster, to make a processor go more than 4 gigahertz, which is pretty much the maximum of all time. If you know anything about computers, there should be something called a processor, an i5 or i3 core. The maximum it can go is 4 gigahertz. Quantum computing pretty much accelerates that anywhere faster than that, and that makes computers super fast, which is pretty amazing. So then there's polymorphism, which is the other subtopic that I wanted to explain about. Polymorphism, more commonly referred as polymorphic code, is pretty much 2 different types of print lines in Java, which will pretty much just print something on the screen, put together in different types of code. This is an example where it says abstract class animal, which pretty much means it's an animal class, and it pretty much says meow and woof, and when you execute it, it says talk, depending, and it will repeat cat saying meow and the dog saying woof, and it will repeat infinite times over and over and over again. And why this is so important is because in hacking history, people use polymorphic code to go against antivirus programs so they could get straight through and right into the computer. It's like a shield bypass if you ever played a sci-fi video game. principal's video, or personal development, and then subpage. Sorry about that. It's right up there, my bad. And yeah.
Family is an important value to me. Without one, I would be all alone.
Sorry, my voice.
Style is important because when you look good, people will take you more seriously. It's true. Having fun is important because it fuels the fire for life and it keeps you going. And when you keep going, that's what life means. Hair has always been a value in our family tradition. Sometimes growing it out isn't a bad thing, believe it or not. I value home because home is a refuge where you can solve all your problems and hardships in life, which is very important to cope with. I realize that I am more tired than others, and sometimes sleeping isn't bad. In fact, it's usually healthy, so why not? I was once told to live like a sea urchin. I take that metaphor very seriously. What that means is to travel and enjoy life while you have one. Addictions and overdone obsessions in life will slow you down. That's why it's good to get things done quick while you can. Your siblings will drag you down and annoy the hell out of you until you can accept the fact that you can't do anything about it. So instead, support your siblings. Trust me, I would know, because I have 6. Finally, cats and dogs are very important in life, even other pets. They will help you and cheer you up in any situation, so embrace the urchin with a capital K. Cats are cool, because if there's anything to thank, hell, it's...
I don't know, it's that now, but you see, I had a major sugar addiction, and also I was a very cute toddler. So, moving on. So, I believe that's in my website, but actually, is it? This went much faster than I ever thought. Apprenticing. Derp, almost forgot that. My mentor's here. That was a bit embarrassing. So, this year I worked at EMS Essex Town School District, or Essex Middle School, as an IT technician. Even though I refer to Mark as my mentor, I used to call him Master because it's pretty awesome. So, I need to thank him because he came with me. He helped me figure out computers, and long story short, he told me all about. He got me to do tasks and fix computers, which is very educational and also something that you may want to know because not everyone gets to fix computers on a daily basis. But long story short, I am very, very thankful that Mark was my mentor because, because I just blanked it. Okay, I'm very thankful that he's my mentor because without him, I wouldn't even be able to take apart a laptop. So that's that. I'm just gonna clap for him just now, just because. Thanks. So, these are my pictures of me doing this is part of my evidence, taking apart computers, having fun. It was all really in one day. I didn't get tons of pictures in. I agree, I didn't need more evidence in this presentation. But, long story short, this is my product of the year. Yes, it's a bit short, but it was a very nervous project. And to be honest with you, I couldn't have done this without my teachers, my mentor, and my parents. So, give a high five. This is the end of it. Any questions or comments or discussion?
I have a question. So tell me about the computer, because that's still in pieces in the classroom. What's going on with that?
I'm sorry, guys. I completely forgot about that.
And what did you learn from that? Or what are you learning by doing that?
I didn't really get to take a picture of it because that was a bit last minute, but Skylar and I had built a computer at the very beginning of the year, and from pardon my French, shit parts and parts that didn't even work. Long story short, we had a computer in a plastic case put together by duct tape. Believe it or not, it actually partially worked. But it wasn't good enough because the power supply didn't work. But it was pretty substantial. But over the time, my dad donated a computer, and I didn't build that computer, but I installed more RAM. I thought about getting a better processor, and I was planning on getting a new video card, but I ran out of time. But I spent 3.5 weeks getting Linux. Note to self, never get Linux again. It's a pretty good operating system, but Linux is a pain in the ass to install sometimes. So that's that. Without Skylar's help, I probably couldn't have done that, but I have a Linux computer and it's mine, and I'm really happy about it because Linux is pretty cool, but it's really a pain to install.
So what were some of the things you learned, like doing that specifically?
Well, a couple of things I learned was, I mean, you don't really have to be super smart to be a programmer, but as you see, building a computer has nothing to do with programming. It's building a computer. You need to know common sense, because without common sense, you can't really put things together. So I learned all about certain parts of a computer, like the RAM, the hard drive, the disk, SATA cables, which are just cables that connect things. I could go on and on and on, but the fact is, I learned all about certain hardware, as you can see in that computer right there. That's an example of one I took apart. There are a lot of different things in there that most people wouldn't even know how to do. This is, the thing about Big Picture that I really like though is, without Big Picture, I probably couldn't do this in a traditional school because I'm taking apart a freaking computer, and most people wouldn't know the difference between that and a microwave, so that's that, to answer your question. I did learn a lot of things from mainly computer hardware, but there's also some other mathematics, common sense, and just things that you might need in a job that apply to this field, so. Any other questions?
Could you go back to the fall 2013 page that had some of the work that you've been doing? I just wanted to give you a chance to explain a little bit more about these. So were these what you saw as your independent learning plans, was learning about quantum computing and learning about polymorphism?
Well, quantum computing and polymorphism are more like subtopics, as in, because my main learning plans are building a computer and, as you can probably tell, programming, because I completely changed the mechanics of Minecraft, which is pretty amazing. But the really cool stuff is polymorphism is a big part of code, specifically Java, because Java is what makes up Minecraft. And making a script for a type of drug that's in MindChem, I literally had to use polymorphic code because it had to print out different things that were completely random. And I had to fix a bug that also, when they printed them out, made them like infinite times printing them out on the screens, and that was really weird, so that was pretty cool. But
and did you know anything about that, about polymorphic code before this semester?
no, not at all. I wouldn't know the difference. I know some background of programming, but polymorphic code is advanced stuff. Most people that even know what Java is wouldn't know what that is at first sight.
And what was it that you actually used to learn? Was it like Code Academy? Was it a book on JavaScript, or? Well,
I mainly used the New Boston's YouTube tutorials, but I didn't use really that much of a website. I pretty much just asked people, look up on the internet, use my smarts to my advantage. And you're probably wondering, well, how would I, because mathematics is a huge thing in learning. The thing that I learned about code that really, really helped me is, what is it called? Java doesn't have a lot of geometry in it, but it is full of variables and algebra. People say you don't need to be a genius to code, but I mean, you really don't, but you need to have common sense, and common sense is a really important part of math, so that's what I would like to say. I did learn a lot of really important values that have to do with teaching and all that stuff in my future life, but
So the first thing you showed us was a mod,
yes.
right? What does it take? What do you have, like, did you show us what that normally would look like and what you modded it to? Okay. How long does that take and what goes into doing that?
That one difference in the sun, as you saw, the first one was a glowing ball, that was yellow, and the second one was a square. I don't even know how to explain how hard it would be to make that, but long story short, it is a pain in the ass to change textures in a video game. It probably took like hours and stuff.
What do you do to make it change?
Well, because what was that is that was a mod pack. I didn't actually change the sun. I did change part of the graphics, but not all of this is mine, but I am giving credit to the other people that are on my team. But the sun I didn't work on, to be honest with you, but I did work on some other textures that I didn't entirely get to show, but I did get to show you the water, and I partially worked on that too, but
So then, if it takes that long, how long do you think it would take somebody to develop an entire video game?
Years, depending on the game. But if it's a 3D game that had graphics like this game was made, I think, 2006, 2005. It's still going on, and it's still got like 20 million downloads and purchases just because it's such a famous game. Like, even my dad partially understands it, to be honest, because I've told him so much gibberish about it. But so yeah, that's my project. So learning plan project thing. Anyone else have any more questions or comments?
I have kind of both.
Yes.
I was wondering if you guys did the hour of code last week, or if you knew what I was talking about.
Sadly, we didn't. I'm pretty sure because a video that Skylar showed in his presentation was the exact same video that we were showing people at my internship.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually even planning on putting that in my presentation, but I figured it wouldn't really do the same thing because I've seen it too many times. If you have any experience at all watching videos, watching a video over and over again isn't that entertaining. So, long
Yep.
story short, I didn't really want to post a video on my website.
Because last week was Computer Science Week worldwide, and at Essex Town School District, most classes we had an hour of code, which was we'd go to each class, and for an hour we'd have all the students do programming tutorials. And in those programming tutorials, they get the basics of how computer programs work, how they run, what functions are. It really depend on what their grade level was and how difficult the activity they would do. But the reason that we did this is to spread awareness for computer science and how important it's going to be in the future, because right now in America, not many schools touch on it, especially K through 12. And the job market for it in 2020, when everyone's going to be graduating high school or college, there's going to be more demand for people who are qualified to do those jobs than there are going to be people who are qualified. So there's going to be lots of jobs unfulfilled, maybe outsourced to India and China. As China, every kid is taught some basics of programming.
One of our other students wrote a research papers stating some of those facts.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Lucian.
How was your required work like this summer?
Well, my required work had a couple of different aspects. Well, I'm going to be honest with you, I wasn't entirely the most 100% prepared. Pardon that. But my Socratics and my QRs, I'm pretty much done. I don't have any evidence for it yet, though, because I thought that wasn't the most important thing to put in my presentation. Trust me, I would have, but it wasn't entirely relevant at this time, seeing that I had so little time. If you're wondering, I worked my ass off last night trying to get some things done, and this morning. So I didn't entirely have the best time to put everything on my website, but I did much better than what someone would do sometimes. As you can tell, this wasn't my best presentation. It won't ever be my best presentation, because this you have to admit, wasn't the best presentation so far this week, but hey, at least it didn't vomit, so that's that. And I also have my research paper, but I didn't decide to host that. I was going to write a paragraph, but I ran out of time. Libby.
I want to say really, really good job. I think you had, I really liked that you had a lot of examples of all the things that you did and like a lot of subject knowledge and like went into detail with everything. Like really, really good job. I also think that even though like I don't really like technology, but I still think that like you're only like 15, 16 and you're like creating like a video game. Like I just think that's really cool.
Yep. So any other? Yeah. I'm sorry, my eyesight's a bit bad again. Is that showing? No.
It's Olivia.
Blue.
I like how you're playing the music in the background too. It's like a really different way to do an exhibition or
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Kind of makes me feel like I'm in a video game.
Yeah. I feel like I'm in Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars.
Well. Yeah. So that's that. That's my learning plan.